When my son was 3 years old, his favorite words were no way. And I remember specifically him hating the idea of taking any kind of medicine. He had an ear infection one day. I went to the doctor. I said, you're going to have to make this really super good because my kid won't take medicine. And so the doctor hooked me up with some liquid flavored banana penicillin. And I remember taking it home and trying to convince my son that he wanted this because like it was banana flavored and monkeys go crazy. My son and I, my eldest son and I were doing like a little monkey skit trying to convince this guy to take it. And he looked at us unimpressed, said, no way. We switched tactics and tried tigers because we thought that'd be cooler. And tigers were eating the monkeys who were eating this medicine because that's how good this medicine was. And our son, totally unimpressed, Judah, he said, no way. So finally I did what every other parent on the planet did. You know, gracious, kind, lovely, gentle mothers. I just held that little guy down. I remember sitting on his writhing little body and like strong arming his shoulders to the ground. His little head was going, no way, no way. And I said to my eldest son, quick, get his head. So he grabbed his head and I took a syringe filled with this penicillin and I just ever so gently, lovingly, kindly just shoved it down that little kid's throat. And I said, yes, way. And that's really when I felt God talk to me. It was kind of a bit awkward because we were in a family moment, but I felt God say to me, oh, I see. You do salvation or you do love like you do your medicine. I said, well, of course I do. People are dying of this disease called sin and brokenness and pain and violence and suffering. And of course, I have a remedy for what ails them. If I have to, I'm going to hold them down and shove it down your throat. I felt like God said to me, no, I don't mean the quality of the remedy. I mean the quantity. I said, well, what? What do you mean? He said, well, see, there's this other image of God in the scriptures. Clearly, he talks about his love being like this mighty ocean. There's a song I love written by a guy named William Booth. It says, oh, boundless salvation, deep ocean of love. Oh, fullness of mercy, Jesus brought from above. The whole world redeeming, so rich and so free. Oh, boundless salvation, come roll over me. You know, in that moment, I felt like God said to me, you can choose. You can have a syringe. You can have the kind of love in your life that's just enough for what ails you, just enough to cure your own personal disease. But if it's the love of God you're after, you're going to need to trade that syringe in for an ocean, because God's love is for everyone, because God's love is not small. It's huge. As a matter of fact, the scripture says it's endless. It's like a sea that knows no end. That's how big the love of God is. So here's an invitation you might like. Why don't you live into that love? Why don't you let that love consume you and take you into a life of love, which would be a life filled with God for the whole world?